Morning, Liam. I don't think we've met before. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. No, first time to meet you, and obviously via a digital platform, as all meetings are now.
Aren't we so used to it? This time last year, I think if we'd thought we would still be doing this time next year, so to speak, we'd have thought that's just not going to happen. But it's second nature now, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we'll all be glad to see. I mean, there's obviously lots of benefits for meeting this way. We're all busy in this day and age, so I think there are some benefits. But I certainly am one that does miss the handshake and a cup of coffee with someone face to face, to be honest with you. But I think find the balance.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. What's it been like up at the racecourse this year? Because it must have been terribly stop-start in terms of racing, and then obviously the vaccination centre. It must have been quite a challenging year for you and your team.
Yeah, hugely challenging. You know, we've certainly had an interesting 16 months or 15 months, whatever it is now. But yeah, I mean, we haven't raced with public since October 2019.
Wow.
We are scheduled to race with public on May the 21st, obviously this year. So we're certainly counting down those days to welcome back the public. We have been racing behind closed doors, which has been certainly keeping them from the door, so to speak, because we've been able to welcome horses to the track. We've been able to race and, of course, televise that racing as well. So that's been hugely important for us. But I guess to put that in context, you know, a normal season at Bath with 21 seasons, 21 fixtures, we'd have over 200,000 people.
Wow.
Across those fixtures that would come through our gates. Of course, the other events that we do, conferencing, the firework events, you know, everything that we're known for, of course, it's just been put on hold. So it's been hugely challenging, very challenging for the team. We've had to adapt accordingly.
Sure.
And hopefully now we're reading the press about the relaxation of restrictions, and we seem to be navigating our way out of it. Fingers crossed. So roll on the 21st of May when we can actually have crowd back at the court.
And I mean, I'm a bit of a racing fan. I'm slightly more of a football fan. And any kind of sporting fixture, the crowd makes it, doesn't it? It's not just about the money, it's about the atmosphere and it's about the whole experience.
You're absolutely right. You really are. I mean, yeah, like yourself, I'm a big sporting fan, not just racing. And, you know, even when you watch on the TV, for example, particularly the football and things, and, you know, it isn't the same. And I'm sure the professional athletes take part in these sports, particularly in racing as well. You know, when they're coming back into the parade ring with a winner, and you've got you know, thousands of people cheering you on and chanting and things, you know, that it's been taken away for so long. So I think it's important that comes back as well, and as you say, it kind of creates. Yeah, but yeah, it's certainly been interesting in that sense. But like I say, 21st of May onwards is kind of when we've got people back.
Fingers crossed.
Super, yeah, fingers crossed, of course. So we're excited for that.
And how did it come about that you became a vaccination centre? Because that's obviously something that a lot of people in Bath and the surrounding area will think. In fact, maybe some people who've never been up to the racecourse before will have found you because of that.
Absolutely. I mean, it was back in November last year when we was contacted to become a potential mass vaccination site. I mean, for those that have been to the racecourse, you know, it's a huge venue. There's plenty of parking. We're just outside of the town slightly as well. So in terms of traffic and access, you know, it's fairly accessible from a driving perspective. The NHS team have put transport on from the town centre, bringing people up by bus, free shuttle service. So, you know, it's worked well in that sense. I think when they approached us, you know, we were sort of not sure how long this would go on for. We're not sure how, you know, was it a couple of months? Could it be longer? But it certainly worked well. I mean, we're doing 1,000 people a day. I say we play a very small part. I mean, the team that deliver this are phenomenal. But yeah, 1,000 people roughly that come through the gate. So, and a lot of those, we do talk to one or two as they come through. And they say, we never knew his place was here, or, you know, we haven't been for so long, we can't wait to come back. So you get a real mixed sort of mixed view on that front. But I think it's just good to see when people have had their vaccine, and this is the biggest thing I always say, when they walk out, you can actually see a bit of a spring in people's steps. Particularly when we first started out back in February, and we were doing sort of 80 plus. You know, it was a real sort of humbling sort of experience to see, have these vaccines and obviously walk out happier than they were before.
Yeah, I was done at the pavilion down in the centre of Bath, and I was chatting obviously to some of the people there, and they were saying, especially in some of maybe the older age groups, people had actually got dressed up a bit, especially because some of them had spent some of their misspent youth at the pavilion. They were reliving those things. And for some people, it was literally the first time they'd been out for 12 months. And suddenly there was, you're not just injecting with a vaccine, you're sort of injecting with a bit of hope and a bit of faith and a bit of, as you say, expectation that the future may be more like what people want it to be. So what are your ambitions now for the race? Let's assume everything carries on the way it is, and as you say, it is looking slightly secure coming out of this lockdown. Have you got any big conferences or anything returning as well as the racing? How are you looking for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so we're governed by the guidance from the BCMS, of course, and if we know there is some guidance, but it is ever changing, as we know. But looking ahead, we have got some events booked in. Whether they continue to go ahead or not, obviously, there's always a question, but at the moment they're scheduled in. We're very excited. So we have the Kaiser Chiefs booked in from the 30th of July.
Wow.
One of our big music acts that we're known for, of course. And the following day, we have the Rag and Bone Man, who's booked in non-racing event, sort of music after racing. So the non-racing event is just music standalone. And aside from that, at the moment, we've got sort of some of our commercial clients coming back for conferencing and events, which is great. Full rating program throughout the summer. We've rescheduled some of our well-known feature days for later in the year. So, for example, our Ladies' Day that was scheduled in June or in August. So we've tried to balance some of those more well-attended fixtures for a period of the year where we think we can be less easy. So hopefully that comes to fruition. That's very exciting. We are looking towards next year as well. So there's a lot of planning for next year, of course. We're trying to be promoting our sort of wedding facilities at the moment because pre-COVID, we did a hell of a lot of weddings at the venue, and it's a gorgeous open roof and the roof garden if you've been before. And that's a big focus for us. And I just feel that a lot of our wedding clients that we had, had to stop and change their dates so much. I feel really sorry for these wedding groups because one minute you can have 30 people, then you can't have 30 people.
Yeah.
And just that alone, I think, balancing who you can and can't invite must be tricky. So the next year, we know there's obviously a big uptake and a lot of inquiries for weddings. So hopefully we can support with that, of course. Lots of commercial planning as much as we can do, really. Well,
I do wish you all the best in all of it. Bath is known generally, I think it's probably known most of it as a rugby city when people think of sport. But then obviously there's a university, there's Bath City Football Club. I don't want to miss anybody out. There's, Larkhall, there's Obdown, there's everyone. But you as the Racecourse play quite an integral part in all this. And as you say, you are slightly on the edge of the city, so people don't necessarily go by you all the time. But you are a real asset to us as a city of Bath. And it is my pleasure to thank you and your team for everything you've done just to keep going. I'm sure it's been hard, and I'm sure, as you say, it's been challenging. But I really hope that you come out the end of this, probably doing some calls on Zoom, but also meeting up and having all the racing and all the commercial activity that you need in order to continue to be the success that you are. So thank you for your time this morning, Liam. It's been really appreciated.
Thank you, Emil. Thank you so much.